Okay, so in this table, Shubhankar, the question goes to you. In this table, which column can be a good candidate for primary key? Transaction ID, customer ID, order date, category, order value. Have you attended the last
Transact.
trans ID, right? So this is going to be
Yes.
unique identifier because you can see and you can also check. You can also check like if count star of this table
Yes.
is equal to count distinct of transaction ID, then you
Yes.
can say that the number of rows is equal to the number of entities that we have in this transaction ID column, and that means this can be a good candidate for a transaction ID. And before, when you are creating a table, no, in most of the cases you are defining the schema, right? And in that you are assigning a column as primary key. So just by the manual inspection, you can see that okay, transaction ID is not repeated, it's a unique value, it's not null as well. Or customer ID is repeated, order date again can be repeated, category can be repeated, and again order value, obviously you don't even talk about order value, never talk about any kind of integer like transaction value or order value or cost or sales as a primary key. It can never be primary key. Okay, so your transaction ID is going to be the primary key if needed. Okay, so just doing a select star, we are going to get this. And if I'm going to do a count, if I need a count of distinct customer ID, I just put count distinct customer ID from as total customer and from this table, and I'm going to get my answer. I'll just show you again. This is going to be the 6. Okay, so second question. Okay. Second question is retrieve the list of order date and the corresponding number of customers who did transactions on that date. Okay, so I just need a given date and the number of customers who did any kind of transaction on that date. Keep in mind a given customer can have multiple transactions on the same date. So that was the key here. So you have to count distinct customer ID, not just customer ID, and that is going to give you a solution. I'm not going to just run this again because again we know what we are going to get. Select order date, count distinct customer ID as num customers, and from this table group by order date and order by two descending. This is the second column, and it's going to be in descending order. Cool. Third one, retrieve the list of order date and the corresponding total sales on that date. Again, given date, total sales. Again, I'm not talking about distinct sales. There's nothing like distinct sales, right? So it's a stupid question if I'm going to ask you distinct sale. So order date, and you have to sum the total order value, total sales from this table, group by one, done. Next question, find the total sales of each category on each date, order results by order date and category. Okay, so forget about the ordering. The key thing is we have to find total sales of each category on each date. So again, I can have a list of tables. Let's say we have multiple categories, something like electronics and apparels and let's say home appliances, something like that. Again, so we can have multiple sales in each category. I want the total category wise, right? So that means category has to go in the group by clause. Okay, so select again order date. I want the order date and the corresponding category, and then I want the total sales value. Okay, and you're just going to do the sum of order value across all the transaction made by all the customers, right? So from this table, group by what? Group by, again I need an order date as well as the category in the group by column. Okay, so this is going to be unique. The pair, the given date and a given category is going to be in your grouping bucket, right? So group by one as well as two, and then again you have to do ordering. You can just do order by this guy has written month order date, so that means this result is going to be sorted by the month. You can also do order by order date, right? And if the date is in correct formatting, that means it is identified by the system as a particular date, as in date type, because we have different data types, right? We have string, we have integer, we have float, we have boolean 10 true false, and we can have this date data type as well, right? So if the system is correctly identifying that column as date type, you can also order by the order date, and it's going to be give you the same result. So the key thing, always don't set too much about this order by clause. Always keep in mind that your data has to be in the correct state, right? Ordering is something you take care of at the last, whether it's going to be ascending or descending or by which column doesn't matter, but everything else apart from the order, that has to be correct. Okay, so again this should be fine as well. Anyone having any sort of issue till question number 4? I'll just take a pause for 10 seconds at max. Cool, thank you. Again, this is again very easy. I've done many questions on similar template. Find the list of customers, their total transaction count, total amount spent, and the total number of days they made purchases, right? So total transaction is basically counting all the transaction IDs. Again, no dis. Again, can I? Let me just reframe it. And this question goes to Nikhil. Nikhil, tell me, can I use count distinct transaction ID? Will that give me a different answer if I'm going to just talk about total transactions for each customer ID? Nikhil, are you there?
Yes, Piyush.
Can I do count distinct transaction ID?
It will not give the different answer because transaction ID itself is unique. So no need to write.
Exactly. So if I'm going to have a column which has unique values, no matter if I'm going to do a distinct count or just a simple count, it is going to give me the same result. But keep in mind, whenever you're asking the system to do a distinct counting, the system is going to check for each entry if it is different than whatever it has seen so far. So that is going to take a longer duration. The runtime is going to be longer. Even though the answer is going to be same, the runtime is going to be longer, right? So in that case, keep in mind whenever you're writing a query, and if you writing distinct, make sure it is absolutely necessary that you put the distinct. Otherwise, if it's not necessary, don't put it. Okay, so someone could have written count distinct transaction ID. That is also going to give you the correct answer, given that your transaction ID is a primary key and it is having unique value. But again, the runtime of that code is going to be a lot different as compared to this one, depending on the range of the data, like size of the data it is querying, right? So in this case, it's going to be fine only. So customer ID, count distinct transaction ID, total transaction, and I just need for each customer a total value. So it's just sum of order values, total spend, and again, this was the important bit, number of transaction days. Okay, the person can have multiple transaction on the same day. So just doing a count of the order date is going to give you the wrong answer. Okay, so we want the distinct number of days he made transactions. So just count distinct order date as num transaction days. Order by this from this table, group by customer ID, done and dusted. Fine. Okay, question number 6. We need to find for each customer, sorry, how many categories they shopped for, and what was their total spending across all categories. Now keep in mind, what was their total spending across all categories is basically asking what was their total spend. Okay, because I can have n number of categories and I'm asking यार कि मेरे को सारे categories के answer दो, right? I want the summation of all the spends across all the categories. That means I'm basically asking across all transactions. Okay, I did not specify that I just want this for a specific category, maybe shoes or maybe what t-shirt or whatever category we have listed in the column, right? So there was no specific instruction on that. Okay, so I can just go with customer ID, count distinct category, and I'm assuming everyone has done the column renaming, right? Okay, that was in the assignment. You have to do the column renaming, then only these answers are going to work, otherwise it's going to throw you a error. Okay, so customer ID, count distinct category as num categories, sum order values as total spend from E006, group by 1, order by 3. Cool, fine, we are done. 1 2 3, third column is this, we are doing order by third and descending final. Again, any issues so far? किसी को भी कोई doubt? I hope not. Okay, let me just change this for a moment. Let me see how many categories do we actually have. Select distinct category from. Okay, we have coat, shoes, skirts, boot, shirt, slipper, jeans, suit, and dresses. Okay, let me just change this question on the go and maybe get some of you to answer this. I want the customer IDs again, number of categories, and forget about number of categories. I want each customer's total spend across coat, shoes, and skirts. Okay, I'll write the question here. Find the total spend of each customer for categories listed below, and that is coat, shoes, sorry, skirt, and let's say boat. Who's buying boats? Okay. Okay, so this is a question. Find the total spend of each customer for categories listed below: coat, shoes, skirts, and boats. How can I change? Again, I'm not talking about number of categories. How can I change this query to get the same result? I'll just copy this here. And what is the output? I'll write my output as well. Output, customer ID, and total spend across these categories. Question goes to sorry कार है भाई. Vibhor, give me the answer. How can I change this query to get this answer? And it's a very simple question.
हाँ, आउटपुट में आप कस्टमर आईडी तो आएगा नहीं।
Hmm.
आपने पूछा है क्वेश्चन, टोटल स्पेंड बताना है और रिगार्डिंग ईच कैटेगरी।
Dude, output दिख रहा है यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है मैंने. I'll just zoom it for you if you cannot see properly. Output, customer ID, and total spend. I want total spend of each customer
कैटेगरी
across these categories only. Okay, so
ओके।
I'm being specific. I don't want across all categories, across these categories only. What can I do to get the result? It's a very simple but a little bit of tricky question, but again, you should be able to answer it. And I'm sure that there are definitely 3 or 4 guys here who will be able to answer, but let's see. Go ahead.
सेलेक्ट कस्ट आईडी।
Mm-hmm.
ओके।
It's there. It's already there. Custody ID.
सम। हाँ।
Sum.
सम
So I should first of all get rid
स्पेंड
of this thing, right?
ऑर्डर वैल्यू।
Some order value.
या ऑफ कोर्स सम ऑर्डर वैल्यू एज टोटल स्पेंड
Mm-hmm.
फ्रॉम E006
Mm-hmm.
वेयर
Where
कैटेगरी इन
category in
ब्रैकेट के अंदर
bracket के अंदर. Okay. Go ahead.
कोट शूज स्कर्ट्स एंड बोट्स।
Quote. Okay. I think it's fine only. I'll just copy it here. ठीक है, ध्यान रखो यार इसको. This has to be in quote, single quote. Okay.
द कोट्स।
Okay. I'll show you one more thing. Is this correct? थोड़ा ध्यान से देखो क्वेरी को. ध्यान से देखो क्वेरी को, and I'll say be little vigilant about the output we have gotten here. Coat, shoes, skirt, boats. Just get rid of this coat. इसमें थोड़ा सा error है. There is very small error in this. Can you find out? Who can tell me?
ऑर्डर बाय 3 डिसेंडिंग है तो 3 है नहीं इधर।
चल ठीक है. हाँ. Okay, good. That's one thing. मैं actually वो नहीं सोच रहा था, but again, good point यार. Order by 3 लिखा हुआ था and 3 is not there. So order by 2 descending, but still something is missing. Keep in mind whenever you are writing string entities, no, keep in mind those values are there exactly as it is there in the category column in the raw database. So raw database
Okay.
E006, you'll see that coat has C uppercase.
कैपिटल सी।
या shoes has S uppercase. तो अगर मैं इसको C को छोटा कर दूँ ना, you'll I don't think you're going to find anything. It's going to result nothing. Total spend across code. That is weird, honestly speaking. But it was supposed to give me error because C, S, S, and B. It's not like that, right? If you see this category, so in that case, just to be sure, this database is handling the uppercase and lowercase as same, but in general cases what you can do, just a safeguard, you can write here lower, right? So what it is going to do, it is going to convert this category column into lower, and then it is going to check across these guys, and this is going to be fine. अब ये नहीं चलता है तो यार I will be little mad. Okay, this works. Okay, so this is just a safeguard because most of the database, they are very case sensitive. Okay, so if you are writing COAT, shoes and skirt, and it starts with small caps, and in the database it is in capital, you are not going to get results. Okay, so just a safeguard, keep that in mind. Okay,
Uh,
again, yeah, किसी को कोई
use
question?
order by two is not necessary here, right? मतलब you have not mentioned it
Yeah, I
in
did
this
not
question.
mention. I did not mention. So that is unnecessary again. No, no issues. I can skip it. But if I had something like order by this total spend descending, then you would need it. Okay. But in this case, I have not mentioned, so you can skip it. Thank you. Answer किसने दिया था यार? विभोर, right?
Sir, मैंने
Yeah,
दिया था.
good, good,
Yes,
good,
sir.
good job, yeah, good job. ठीक है. So I'm hoping everything is making sense to you guys. This is also fine. And then coming back to the last two questions, find the AOV of all customers. AOV is basically nothing but average order value. Formula is total spend divided by total transactions, and you can modify blah blah blah. Again, this is easy only. तुम्हारे पास ये पहले से ही है. Customer ID is there. Sum of order value is total spend, that is also there. Count as total transaction, it is also there. You just divide this value by this value. Sometimes if possible, you don't even need this inner query, but again, having that inner query is going to make the whole thing more readable. So I'll just copy it here. What do I want here? I want for each customer their AOV, that means total spend divided by total transactions. Okay, so and again, that is going to give me the right answer, hopefully. Okay, it is showing error. Okay, S was not selected properly. Cool. So customer ID and their average order value. Uh, Anyone having any doubt how this has been calculated? Again, it is given in the problem scenario only. How you're supposed to calculate the AOV is basically divide the total spend by total number of transactions, and you have done this problem here. Okay, total transaction you have calculated for each customer and total spend you have calculated. You can just divide total spend by total transactions, and it is going to give you the correct answer. So if I don't want to use the, I'll say, the inner query, what I can do instead, I can just get rid of this first, and I can do customer ID count. It was not pasted. This is a different question. Yeah, fine only. So customer ID and count number of transactions is also there, total spend is also there. So I can basically divide this value by this value, and I get the same result. So let's just see. I'm just going to do remove this, copy this thing, cut, divide by paste as AOV, and it should give me the same result. Is this sorted by AOV? Yeah, it's sorted by AOV. Group by 1, order by 2, descending. It should give me the same result. 580, 1577, something like that. Yeah, 580, 1577 is going to give me the same result. Again, you can use both the inner query, I'm saying subquery, and this value, this thing as well. It's going to give you the same result. Suppose I want to output the values, let's say in one decimal. Okay, so I don't want 77.1429. What can I do? I can basically round this function. यार ये math में पढ़ा होगा सबने. Sorry. Just round. Again, you are wrapping this whole thing in a round function. Round takes two input. Okay, round as a function, it takes x comma n. What is x? X is the value that has to be rounded. Okay, and n is the number of decimal places you want. So I want this whole thing to be rounded, and I want 2 decimal places. Just put that in round as AOV, and this is going to give me everything again same but rounded to 2 decimals. Okay, so this is also cool. Hopefully it's making sense to you guys. And find the ADS of each month. ADS is nothing but average daily sales. Formula is total sales amount divided by total days when a transaction happened. Again, it's very simple, like I'll say very similar to this question. So for each month, right? First of all, you're not talking about day, you're talking about month, and month is not given. So you have to extract the month information. So I'll just copy this thing, paste it here. Okay, so let's see what this guy has done. Is basically extracting month, counting as month 2019. I'm not sure if every year is 2019. Let's say every year is 2019. That's why he has given month 2019. I can just write month. Okay, so forget month. Okay, month, order data is month. Again, if you think about it, here month is highlighted, and here also month is highlighted. That means the system is identifying this as a, I'll say, special string, and this is a function. That's why it's highlighting that name. So sometimes, just for the sake of clarity, you can write something like this, month underscore, or maybe purchase month you can write. Okay, so sales month you can write, maybe something like that. Sales month, sum of order values, total sales amount, count distinct total, order date as total number of days. What do I want for each month? Keep in mind, I want total order value. Again, I have to sum it, total sales amount, and how many days the transaction has happened in that particular month. So you are going to count distinct order date. Okay, so count distinct order days, total days from this table, group by one, that is sales month, as I will, and then you what is basically doing, as per definition, total sales amount divided by total number of days as ADS, and this is going to give you the same result, whatever you're expecting. Okay, it's giving 129 in the field list. Okay, yeah, I renamed it month sales and I'm calling 2019. So that's what the issue is there. Okay, fine on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, ADS 305, 3, 285, 76, 118. Again, I want to do rounding. I can do it as I just explained, and we are good to go. Okay, now there is one more thing I wanted to mention. So you know that whenever I'm putting this thing inside here, it is called what? A subquery. Okay, and sometimes it can be a little problematic to write a subquery because it seems confusing. So just for better readability, what you can use CTE. CTE is nothing but called common table expressions. Common table expression. So what a common table expression is, basically you are taking a subset of data. Okay, it's a query result. The table that we're getting from CTE is nothing but a table's subset. Okay, the raw table subset. It's a query's result that can be used in the later on expression. So what do I mean by that? I'll just show you. Okay, so again, it starts with the syntax with, I can name that as monthly sales. Okay, keep in mind the syntax with the name, whatever you want to put it as, bracket open. I can just keep this thing inside. Just see what I'm doing here. Okay, so what I'm saying, monthly sales as this value. You're talking about each month total sales amount and total number of days transaction happened from this group by one, and this is a result that I can refer to later on. So I can now write select star from monthly sales. Now keep in mind, this monthly sales table does not exist anywhere in this database. It is something just created. It is only available for the query that has this CT expression in it. So if I'm going to write here something like that, it is not going to, and if I'm going to query something from monthly sales, it's going to possibly going to give me error. I'll show you. So select everything from monthly sales. I'm going to run this thing, see what I'm getting. Okay, monthly sales is not in the database. I just created it, and this is a common table expression, the results of which can be used as a table for any following query. I cannot write a select star here and that is going to give me result, because for this select star from monthly sales, this monthly sale table or result does not exist yet. Okay, it only exists after this thing has ended. Now from this thing onward, if I'm going to run this, it is going to give me the result as I just shown you. Okay, So keep in mind, whatever you can write as a subquery, sometimes for better readability, you can go with a CTE, and then you can do any analysis on top of that. Now I can just write select sales month, and suppose I want again ADS. So what I have to do, total sales amount divide by total days as ADS, and just round it to from monthly sales. Now tell me, do I need a group by year? Pramod, do I need any sort of group by year?
Hello?
Huh?
Yes.
We need a group by group.
1 minute. Select month.
I want monthly ADS. Do I need a group by year?
Monthly, so group by 1.
Nikhil, do I need a group by year?
No need of group.
No need of group by. Our group by has already been done here. So whatever I'm getting, this is my
Okay,
monthly
okay,
sales
okay.
data,
Yes, yes.
right?
Hmm.
Just be a little focused here, okay? This is not the first time you're doing this, okay? So sales month, total sales amount, total days. I don't need any group by because every row has a monthly
Already
information,
grouped.
right? It's
Already
already
grouped.
grouped. I just need
Yes.
to divide this column by this column and I'm done. Okay, so just select everything, and then here we have our answer. Okay, so keep in mind that if it is already grouped, you know that every row is going to have that sales information only once. That month is not going to be repeated. So hopefully that was a good exercise for you for this group by thing, and I'm not expecting that you're going to have any sort of trouble in just pure group by thing expression, right? So if I'm going to ask you any question in class, you have to be there with the answer, because again this is a good enough practice just on the group by thing. Any question so far? किसी को कोई पूछना है?
Hey, Vibhor here.
Yeah, Vibhor.
How CT is different from create temporary table? But we can also do it by creating temporary table, right?
Yeah,
Is there any major
temp
difference?
table and CT, you can assume that it's same. Now the thing is that CT is only accessible. CT is only accessible in that query, right? If I'm going to create a temp table is accessible across all those query in that session. So probably if I'm going to create a temp table, no, that temp table is going to be accessible in this query SQL file 5 as well as SQL file 4. So any new query I'm going to write, that temporary table is going to be available for that session. So see, I'm opening workbench, right? Unless I close it, it is going to be a single session. Okay, in this session, if I'm going to create a temp table, that table is going to be accessible across all files, right? But this CT is only going to be accessible in this query. So for example, if I'm going to write this, see, select star from monthly sales. Do you think it's going to run? No. See what is written. CP monthly
Right.
sales does not exist. Okay, here if I'm going to write this, select star from monthly sales. Again, I have to select everything because this has to be part of the system, and this is going to return. So this is not saved anywhere. Think about it. The temporary table that you are creating, the table has been created and saved in the database. It is taking up a space, a memory space, right? This common table expression is not taking any memory space. It is only going to be created when you ask any data from it. So when I'm writing select star from monthly sales, it's going to look for monthly sales table name, and then it's going to run this monthly table, this query, and that result is going to be used for whatever I've written here. Okay, when you create a temporary table, it is stored in the database for that particular session, and it will be accessible across all files. I hope that answered your question, yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Cool. Any questions? किसी और कोई दिक्कत? Cool, cool. Uh, I still see there are a few guys missing. And again, as I told you that this is going to be kind of a solution discussion class, so it will be unfair to them if I start teaching something else. But let me just see if we can schedule. What is the date today? It is Tuesday. Okay. So what we'll do in this week, we are going to have one more class, like SQL class, at least one class from me, and we'll see like if Neil has something else to share about uh, like his own curriculum, whatever has to be done in SQL going further. So in this week, we are going to have one session at least on joins. I'm going to give you an idea of what exactly a join is and how the system takes that join expression and does the whole calculation. Once you are through with that video, na, I'm 100% sure you are not going to have any sort of issue in any kind of join problems. Okay, so just be sure to attend that class. Okay, and everything else is going to be taken care of. Okay, so with that note, I'll say uh, I'll end this class now, and we'll have a follow-up class on joins, just on joins. Okay, and then we'll be sharing one more assignment on joins only. So there could be a problem which is going to involve join as well as group by, as well as maybe ordering and stuff. Okay, so whatever question you're going to see next, it will be including everything that you have learned till that point in time. Okay, and it's going to get more and more difficult. Okay, so just be a little attentive, spend some extra time on your end. If you're having any issues, do reach out to the mentors, again goes without saying. And if you're just doing whatever we are asking you to do, nothing is going to stop you. Okay, so yeah, that's all from my side, guys. Anyone having any sort of questions? If not, we can call this off.
Are we going to get assignment today or
नॉट
not?
टुडे, नॉट टुडे, आज तो हो गया यार, मतलब तुम लोग सबने कर लिया. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी कि ऑलमोस्ट सबने असाइनमेंट सबमिट किया, एंड दोज हु हैव नॉट सबमिटेड, मेक श्योर यू डू इट. ओके, अब वैसे अब करने का कोई पॉइंट है नहीं. दिस वाज द फर्स्ट असाइनमेंट. I've tried to be little relaxed, but again, going forward, we are going to get more and more assignments, and the trouble is only going to be on the higher side, right? So just this is humble request: do extract some time from your daily agenda, whatever you are doing, and do this thing seriously. Yeah. Okay, this is what you're going. This is what is going to get you the job, at least the first round. Okay, so if ये clear नहीं होगा तो it's going to be very difficult. Okay, so with that being said, I guess if you have nothing else to ask, we can call this off. Cool, yeah. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.